Dire team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Hitbox European Championship number 3. We have another best of 3 on the way between Sqreen Squad, apparently 2.0, and Hehe United, presented on the Pro Dota English channel with a little bit of help from Alpha Draft, SteelSeries, and Esport Gaming. Be sure to visit them, check out some of their stuff. If it's SteelSeries, maybe even buy something. But for right now, I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined this time by GrandisV, and this draft, man, it's going at a blistering pace.
I'm very surprised that Tusk wasn't first banned against Sqreen Squad, even before Tusk came into vogue. Sqreen is always
hold on, I'm gonna have to recall you. You're like
sorry.
turbo robot. All right, so let's see if the recall is better. Hopefully that's better.
Let's try it again.
That's better. There we go.
Okay, good. I'm not a robot. But yeah, as I was saying, even before Tusk was a very meta pick, it was something that Sqreen loved playing, and they played it very well. So I'm very surprised that it's not first banned out. I mean, Bounty Hunter Lesh are very scary, but I'd personally rather leave the Bounty Hunter through the pool rather than play up against Sqreen's Tusk. We're going to start things off. Tusk Clockwork for them and Gyrocopter Earthshaker for Hehe.
It is also worth noting that Sqreen Squad are working with some pretty heavy-hitting stand-ins. King R, Necroman, at least Necroman was Burden United, I believe, and King R has been floating around. Illidan Stormrage, you know, if you want to have a stand-in, maybe one of the best carry players in the world. Seems like a pretty good one. So yeah, Sqreen Squad have some pretty big juggernauts of Dota in their team. And they said comfortably starting out with their Tusk and the Clockwork. Shaker Gyrocopter are the picks for Hehe. They had their Wisp being banned out. Hehe are a team that love the Wisp so much more than other teams.
And now Techie's ban coming up from Hehe, not wanting to deal with Tusk Techies is probably they should ban that out. Even though Clockwork's already picked up and offlane is more often than not going to be sat on by the Clockwork, and then Tusk will be roaming around as a support, it's still a reasonable ban. The Earthshaker and Gyrocopter are in and of themselves already powerhouse heroes for Hehe, but they're not necessarily that great against the Clockwork. Although there is a window where the Gyrocopter can like kill off the Clockwork if Clockwork decides by himself to jump onto him, it's still going to be awkward once he gets that Blade Mail. But now with the Queen of Pain up, Hehe are going to feel a little bit more comfortable. A lot of good heroes for them.
Blade Mail definitely gets a lot better for the Clockwork here, as there's a lot of just random AoE that Hehe are going to be throwing out, and if you could return any of a Sonic Wave, any of a Call Down, or any of Earthshaker's skills, then you're going to be sitting pretty. Sqreen Squad grab a Keeper of the Light. This is a hero that we see occasionally, but very rarely is he picked up this highly. Third pick is prioritizing him over a good portion of the available draft, and Keeper of the Light combos right now, I mean, you definitely don't want to be snowballing in with Tusk. That's not a thing. Infinite mana with the Tusk is kind of nice. Infinite or sustain with the Clockwork is also kind of nice as well. But it seems like they may have some sort of, you know, maybe Aghanim's timing lined up.
Reserve time.
I lost you there.
Okay. Well, maybe they're going to try to get this Keeper of the Light and Aghanim Scepter and then try to just make some sort of timing push off of that, because that's the only reason I would see you grabbing a Keeper of the Light so early, unless you want to do some, like, Phantom Lancer shenanigans.
And Phantom Lancer up against the Queen of Pain, Earthshaker Gyrocopter might not be the most attractive pick for Sqreen Squad. Of course, if you get the Phantom Lancer to like a 6-slotted status, can still be a potent threat, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see. I think, yeah, something along those lines would work pretty well for Sqreen.
I mean, it is a lot of AoE on the Hehe side, so as powerful as the Keeper of the Light Lancer combo is, it may just not be quite strong enough. It's not going to be Anti-Mage. That was banned out by the Hehe side, and we have a little bit of offlane hate coming out from Sqreen for their second ban phase. Phoenix and Darkseer both going to hit the bin. At this point, if you're Hehe, you may just say, okay, Shaker going towards the offlane. Not really going to be the most fun for him, but it's something that they can do, as they do decide to grab a Phantom Lancer for their 4th pick into a Sven. This is a pretty interesting draft from Sqreen Squad.
And from Hehe too. Usually you'll see Queen of Pain, Phantom Lancer, and Gyrocopter all in core positions, but maybe there's a chance that we'll see the Gyrocopter plays as a support this game.
Or Queen of Pain offlane is another option for them. They have minor amounts of flexibility. These options aren't incredibly strong. There are some things that you can get away with, but Phantom Lancer, it's much more important to get farmed on the Phantom Lancer than it is on a Gyrocopter. So yeah, they have a couple of options, but Sqreen Squad, Keeper of the Light, Sven now it seems to be the combo. Sven Tusk, also a little bit of a combo there. It's kind of a weirder draft, but it is pretty darn effective, especially if the offlane is going to be one of the weaker offlane heroes.
Yeah. Sven's big weakness as far as a core is concerned is that he just doesn't have mana at all to work around with. He throws one stun at level 1, and that's pretty much it, even if he's bringing clarities to the lane. So Keeper of Light's going to help that out quite a lot. And if this Sven gets stacked, Phantom Lancer, even with his Illusion army, can't fight against a farmed Sven. So it's going to rely on Hehe getting the jump on Sven either before BKB or just kiting him around inside the fights, which, granted, is possible. They have a lot of heroes that can either keep the Sven at arm's length or just dance around him.
Oh, and Shadow Demon is definitely one of those heroes that is great at countering the Sven. If you get any hero on your team hammered, then you just put him in a bubble, and Sven is now awkwardly going to stand there. Maybe after the bubble wears out, Sven is just going to tear that hero to shreds, but hey, there's not much you could do about that from there on out. Shadow Demon just as an instant response to a hero being hookshot, being snowballed upon, being bolted, even being shackled shot now from the Wind Ranger last pick of Sqreen. I like this defensive pick from Hehe, and it doesn't have a ton to set up for. May make their lanes a little bit more awkward, but hey, it seems like it has a lot of defensive upside.
Yeah. I really don't know how to evaluate this draft 100%. I'm going to say it's fairly even. There are a lot of X factors that we're not 100% used to seeing. But we're going to start things off with a pause, so let's go ahead and introduce our lineups. For the Dire side is Sqreen Squad version 2. Sqreen's going to be playing on his signature Tusk, King R on the Keeper of Light, 1, 2, 3 on the Clockwork, Necroman on the Windrunner, and Illidan Stormrage on the Sven.
And Hehe, they are, well, unfortunately not all here just yet, but Nias is going to be playing the Gyrocopter, Hawaz is going to be playing the Queen of Pain, and MDL on the Shadow Demon, Cube is on the Earthshaker, and Klansky, when he comes back, should be playing the Phantom Lancer. Yeah, the bare minimum of what I want from this game is no long pauses. Anything else works, man. I'm good with anything. Just please no pause.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Oh, man, but Wind Ranger last pick for the Sqreen Squad side. Seems like just a pretty reasonable last pick. Like, I don't really see any huge synergies with Wind Ranger in this particular game, and it is hard to synergize with this hero in general. Maybe just them picking up for Necroman's comfort zone.
Yeah, I think that's more or less exactly on the money. It is a hero that Necroman likes playing and is very self-contained. As you said, doesn't have any direct synergies with other heroes, but by itself can snowball and perform very well. And if you land just an off shackle onto like the Phantom Lancer, if he gets farmed or what have you, you can do a lot of damage by yourself and more importantly just focus him down. So yeah, I think it's more or less just a comfort zone hero, and in that sense it's a good pick.
Now, Necroman as a player isn't as really recklessly explosive as some Wind Rangers that we've seen as of late, but you know, as a player, he is definitely capable of just going off if he gets off to a decent start, and he can make your life a living hell, but isn't really the type of player to also suicide for those types of kills. So as far as reliable Wind Rangers, I think Necroman is probably the one that you want, but we're going to be unpaused, and let's get this game underway. Hehe, they're going to be on the Radiant side. They're going to load out into their lanes, and maybe an offensive tri-lane is in store for right now, though the Lancer does have 2 shared tangos. We ordinarily don't see shared tangos on anyone except for the mid laner, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I actually think it will. The other mid lane option for them would be the Gyrocopter, and his starting items, although those could very well function in the mid lane, are more often seen on a safe lane farm or mid lane matchup. Windrunner versus Phantom Lancer is pretty bad for PL, although he can still spam out with his Phantom Lance when you run the bottle, and Phantom Lancers do love picking up bottle. His farm is going to be hurt quite significantly.
Bottom lane gonna have a minor confrontation right now. Queen of Pain really doesn't want to level up Blink first, yet she's trying to just tempt Sqreen Squad into doing this. Illidan has a hammer, taking a couple of shots. He's just trying to bait out the Blink for the Queen of Pain, but now they're going to be lured in. 2-man Stormhammer is there, but this is a 5 versus 3 we're talking about. Women just kind of coming from the side. Illuminate is going to hit hard onto Cube, but the Rocket Barrage is hitting harder onto Illidan. It's going to draw first blood for the Queen of Pain. Sqreen also taking a beating. They can't even bring down this Gyrocopter, though they will in the end. Now King R is stuck in a corner. He'll charge up another Illuminate, fire it off, but it's not going to do enough. 1 to 3 right now in favor of Hehe. And with a couple of kills going the way of Queen of Pain, she is that much closer to her bottle.
An absolute mess for Sqreen Squad. There's not really a situation where you go for that play unless you honestly expect Hehe to not have full force. But they had an Observer Ward down. They saw where everybody was from Hehe. They just expected that they'd be able to get those early kills faster. A big issue with these 3 heroes is they don't have the greatest burst damage, at least at this point. In the level 1 skirmish, they need to just sit there and wail on a hero a while. They have good lockdown and good control, but in a 3v5 situation, that's not what you need. So That's going to pan out poorly for Sqreen Squad. The silver lining is that Windrunner is the one to pick up the kill onto the gyrocopter. Not only is that a kill on a high priority target, it is also going to help even out this mid lane. And against the Vandal Lancer, Windrunner can take this advantage pretty far.
And Klaczynski rather does have 3 assists out of it, and 1 kill versus 3 assists, it should be kind of even as far as the gold that they each have received. And PL already does have the Poor Man Shield, has 5 tangos available. He is out of mana at this stage, however, and he'll be able to get a couple of CS just by being in melee range. But as far as him returning harassment to Necroman, that's not really going to happen. Necroman should be able to grab the bottle at a reasonable clip.
Very well. Up in the top lane, it's an aggressive tri-lane with the gyrocopter. Even though he did die, he's got to kill himself and was involved in 2. He spent most, if not all, of his gold for his starting item, so he hardly lost anything. So, oh dear. Yeah, let's hope not. But yeah, against the Clockwork, this tri-lane or even just the gyrocopter solo can function very, very easily.
And that's, of course, going to free up the Earthshaker and the Shadow Demon to go around and roam. They don't really work fantastically together. Like, one of the advantages of Earthshaker is that you're able to land your skills pretty much whenever you want to. It may not be perfect, but you don't really need setup like a Leshrac or a Lina. They would really like setup. So they don't really work together fantastically, but even if you just get a block onto Necroman, if you have Klaczynski throw a Lance there, you can potentially have enough damage to beat down the Wind Ranger even through the duration of a level 1 wind run. So 3 seconds, you just have to wait, and then are they talking about us? I don't know, they're talking about them, but you could actually kill off the Wind Ranger in that type of situation.
Yeah, I have no real idea what's going on inside the all chat, and I think we'll just leave that where it is right now. So we've pretty much gone over how most of these lanes either are going or should, in theory, go. What else is there to talk about?
Well, Queen of Pain, actually, we didn't even touch on this lane yet. She doesn't have Blink level 1, and she may be able to sneak it, but if Snowball... there's actually no Snowball, so never mind. If they actually get in range for a Stormhammer with shards, Queen of Pain is going to be a pretty easy kill until she gets level 2. Not super far away, though. I think I probably would have liked to see this Queen of Pain grab the Bounty Rune to give her level 2.
Yeah, it does help so much when you're thrown in this off lane or solo lane Queen of Pain, as it were, this game, that you can get that blink as soon as possible, because the way that you're able to play when you have that blink is completely different. If she has blink in this lane, she probably can disjoint that Stormhammer. At the very least, buy some space away from the Tusk, so Snowball's not a big issue. Yeah, I think that might have been a better option, but gooder option, my goodness. But she should be able to get level 2 sooner rather than later.
You can't afford to speak poorly, because I've been sitting here forever, dude. You have to be speaking correctly.
To be fair, I did cast a series
you have to be the one
this.
to English correctly.
Yeah, very well. English I will.
Okay, we English good then. We English very good. This is not what I wanted, dude. This is exactly what I didn't want to see. Oh god. This is day 1. This is day 1 of the Hitbox EU Championship, guys, and we have had probably a game's worth of pause and wait time by now.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
Like, just in that second game alone of the first series, there was like 45 minutes plus of pause, and then you had the remake waiting time in between. It was an absolute mess. And
it's not looking that much better either in this game.
Dear.
Why would you... Again, I don't, understand if it is Necroman being DDoSed. Why would you do this to the Wind Ranger when the team that you presumably have bet on, Hehe, have 3 kills and got first blood? You would at least wait until later, right? Until, the game is going to get a little more sketchy?
I don't think it's DDoS. We have, I don't know, we have no information to back up anything right now, so it's just speculation.
Yeah. He is back, though. And I like that. That's what I like to see. Hopefully this is going to be the only pause of the game. We did it.
We saved the
world. Look at yellow. Holy crap. That spelling is impeccable.
That's a script.
Yeah.
Or at least it's a
Haxor.
like an auto exec command.
Alright, so apparently he likes Dota, and we're gonna get this game actually underway. Only 30 seconds in, we already had like a, 5-minute pause. You know, no big deal, but we expect Necroman to be eventually pulling ahead in this lane, although Klazinski's start is pretty convincing. Going top. He's in a lot of trouble. Bubble, Fissure, Rocket Barrage. It's only level 1 Barrage at this point, and they do have a couple more right clicks. Cog, go up, but it traps the Gyrocopter inside. That means he gets a couple more right clicks. No, actually cancels it. And now Nias is actually trapped in tower range. Flare with tower shots will get the kill. Misplays galore from this Gyrocopter. Didn't expect the Clockwork to survive for that long.
That wasn't the intended play from the Clockwork either. At 200 range, the cogs suck people inside the cogs, and it was just on the threshold of being able to bounce them back, which is the intended play for the Clockwork. Just back off behind your tower, salve up, come at a reasonable amount of HP. But that worked out a lot better than intended. The Clockwork now in this top lane is going to have a much better time after getting a solo kill that he really shouldn't have had.
And it's still going to be a lot of kill power in this top lane for the Hehe side, but they have to respect this Clockwork just a little bit more. Sqreen has actually made his rotation up towards the top lane, leaving this dual lane of King R and Illidan. Now, once the Blink is picked up on the Queen of Pain, the Tusk gets a lot worse in this lane, so I think this lane rotation is actually justifiable, at least as far as the bottom lane is going to go. I'm not sure if Sqreen's going to be able to help out that much on top, however. Like, this Tusk isn't going to be doing anything bottom, but at the same time, is he really going to be doing anything top?
At that point, you might as well just stay top if you can pull, but at the moment, that's blocked out by a Radiant Observer Ward. So if you can, just de-ward it and get experience this way. I think it's more useful that he's up top, but also another issue is they can't really gank mid. The cores coming out from Hehe are very elusive. The Phantom Lancer and Queen of Pain especially are very hard to gank with a Tusk. And then up top lane, the Gyrocopter has sufficient defensive supports, or at least he should. Right now, his is going to cop a lot of harass.
He'll be fine for right now. We do have Cube rotating him from the side. Not really going to commit to anything, but the stuns coming out from the Sqreen squad, they are pretty good. Like, eventually they get pretty good, but for right now, they're not really what you want. Like, Snowball level 1 with no Walrus Punch, it's really hard to make anything happen with that. Stormhammer's fine, but level 1 right now, it's not going to be doing anything. Same thing for Shackle Shot. It is a really great tool at killing off someone like a Phantom Lancer or someone like a Queen of Pain, but really only once you're level 8 or 9 does that become a reliable tool, and Hookshot, of course, as well. So these tools that Sqreen Squad have aren't really going to kick into gear, so as far as their ability to get kills, unless there's a mistake being made, like up on top, I don't really see it happening. Yeah,
and the passive game favors Hehe. They have heroes that scale incredibly well with farm. If you can get a 6-slide Gyro, PL, and Queen of Pain with amazing late game supports, there's Shaker and Shadow Demon, there's really not much chance, but they're going to try for an aggressive move in mid. Windrunner, they can delay the time she's wind running away and do have quite a lot of spam coming out from the Phantom Lancer. I think they're going to wait until he has level 5 on the PL, but nope, they're going to open up. Nice Fissure block, and from here on out, Necroman is caught in a corner with no great way out, but he gets a good shackle, and with the Windrun, might be able to turn around onto the PL. They'll disrupt up the Windrunner, but yeah, the Salve is still going. She's going to be more than half of her HP, and Necroman should be able to survive here. That was a close call from our side. No, Fissure going to jam it home, and that's going to be the kill for Hehe, albeit delayed.
Man, that looked like it was Wind Ranger to survive there. It was very unfortunate timing by the Shadow Demon, or just very well played by the Wind Ranger to salve as soon as the bubble was going to come in. So she was sitting there invulnerable and healing up towards top. Nias without any supports is going to get dove. He is going to unleash another Rocket Barrage, but split between two heroes, not going to put them in lethal range. 5 stick charges, he's going to get himself into a corner and then fight to the death, but his death, rest assured, is coming. And Clockwork is going to grab that kill. Though it's nice to slow down Necroman over in the mid lane, get a little bit more help towards this Phantom Lancer. It's a pretty steep cost rotating those supports out. Gyrocopter needs his help.
Yeah, and Gyrocopter is having a pretty bad time, at least in this early game. After that early skirmish was 1-1 and 2, and he's died twice since then. Yeah, unless this Phantom Lancer can really make some ground inside mid lane after that kill onto Necroman, this is going to be really hard. And although he's going to be annoying to Necroman, I don't see him killing her off solo.
Oh, but he's not solo. Cube is here, and Necroman should not know about this. There is another Lance available on the Phantom Lancer. They need a perfect wall, and I'm not sure if that's really going to happen, although Necroman does go down the kind of. Yeah, it is really hard to get a wall off on a Wind Ranger with boots. Just so mobile, and she does have her Wind Run, even if she does get clipped by it. So 4-3 right now, and Hehe's sitting on a minor advantage. However, the CS very slightly going in favor of Sqreen Squad. This Sven having a really good time on this bottom lane.
Windrunner does have a high ground vision ward too, so unless the Earthshaker is smoked, actually getting that wall off is impossible, I'd say. Yeah, Sven is under no pressure, and just him and the Coddle can keep this lane mostly on lockdown. They'll throw a Stormhammer, will connect on the Queen of Pain, but not going to be super relevant. They can spam that out whenever they want, however. They have a Mango, Clarities, and Keeper of the Light, which is pretty much the trifecta of mana that you can have in the early game.
All right, we're getting some info from the chat that 123 is Vigos. I do seem to remember him running with that name. Just couldn't place my finger on it. So yeah, probably reasonable to assume that that is going to be the Clockwork player. Down towards bottom, looks like Stormhammer was thrown. Still no Illuminate being channeled though. Hawa, don't back up into it. He's narrowly going to dodge it. And up towards top, we have a scramble for the Bounty Rune. The Fissure is going to connect, and actually Shackle connects as well. Very long up on the hill, and Klaczynski doesn't actually have another Doppelgang. He's going to get caught in the cogs, and he's going to drop. Here comes MDL and Nihis both. Cube's going to walk in, try to put a little more damage to this Clockwork. With Battery Assault, it's very hard to keep up. He also has 7 stick charges. Fissure will connect into a couple more right clicks, although the sticks will keep him alive. The Queen of Pain is going to come in for a Blink Scream. That'll get the retaliation kill. It's 1 for 1, but Clockwork for a Phantom Lancer is perfectly fine for Sqreen Squad.
Especially with so many heroes drawn to that mid lane. That's time where Sven is left completely untouched down in bottom lane. Illidan wasn't needed for that skirmish, and all of the kills that Sqreen Squad have gotten are either on the Gyrocopter or the Phantom Lancer. Really high priority kills.
You could see it reflected in their CS as well. I mean, the Phantom Lancer's not doing terribly, especially considering the lane of Wind Ranger, but the Gyrocopter is really starting to fall behind just in his pure CS. He has boots and, almost drums, and I mean, that's not really spectacular for a Gyrocopter. You really want him to be a little bit closer to where the Sven is. With Power Treads already completed, he should have something else. Yeah, he has, looks like Magic Wand being built up, and that's going to be completed very, very shortly. Up towards top, they do get a Fissure onto the Clockwork. Cogs are available. Try to slip around the trees first, but that's not going to happen. Once again, the Cogs sucking Nihis into the middle of them, and that's Clockwork to fall for the second time.
What do you build on the Sven this game? Illidan's getting so much space that maybe an early Blink Dagger could help their team fight quite effectively. Even though right now it's hard to catch those initiations, with the Blink Sven it would be possible.
Yeah, the late game power of Sven is definitely really high, but as we've said before, it's not as high as what Hehe have, even though Sven's getting a lot more farm than any given Hehe hero. Blink Dagger just to lock down the mid game and then try to snowball from there, I think is probably a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, like what's going to be the alternative? You go for Mask of Madness BKB, like a very cookie cutter build. I mean, that might fly, but I think the Blink Dagger will be a little better. Cube is in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. He has Klaczynski right there. He'll throw a Lance, and Tusk is not really with much mana, and this Phantom Lancer actually wants in. Wind Ranger doesn't have any mana either, so she can't really help out here. Doppelgang forward, Sqreen's completely swarmed. Shackle will land, but it's way too late, and that's a free kill for the Phantom Lancer.
Even through those 9 stick charges, the Tusk is not that survivable at this point. Only a level 4 hero, and those Phantom Lances really do hurt. Phantom Lancer, with that skill maxed out, it's a reasonable nuke, and then the illusion damage just icing on the cake. Disruption down the bottom rune spot area, trying to secure MDL the Invis rune. He'll very cheekily snag that away from King R. In fact, the Coddle TP's out, expecting there to be some more backup, but there's not. Cube is all the way back at base.
Bottom lane, Illidan, he popped God's Strength just to clear out the creep wave. He's going to put a little bit of hurt into the tower, and now it's going to be the Queen of Pain to jump forward, takes a hammer to the face, and they do have also Shadow Demon rotating in. He's invis, and Sqreen Squad knew about it. Shackle onto 2, ever a super long shackle from Necroman. He'll try to take down the Queen of Pain with a flare coming in. They will do so. Now into the Gyrocopter, they'll try to go. Nope, actually it's going to be towards MDL. Probably a little bit easier to go for that target anyway. And Shadow Demon, he's going to get bailed out by the Fissure, but Snowball is there with a power shot, not even needed. They also catch Cube in the cogs. Sqreen Squad just all over Hehe in this bottom lane fight. Another hammer to land, another illuminate to fly, and they also wall off Nihis' escape path. He's gonna get cut in the trees with the power shot, and now he's stuck as well. That's a 4-0 on the bottom lane, being set up mostly by Necroman's primary shackle shot. Man, I did not expect that one to latch, but it worked out pretty well for him.
Just on the edge of the range, and that was beautiful. There's not really another way to put it. Sqreen Squad execute that after the shackle as well as they could have, saving our spells for just the right time, the flare snipe to secure the first kill, and from there on out it was just picture perfect. So Sqreen Squad find themselves with a lot of momentum, and now Sven, although he's not going to be going for the Blink Dagger, is going to accelerate his farm in a pretty meaningful fashion. Helm of the Dominator on Sven is absolutely amazing. It can disassemble for Armlet Mask of Madness, or just keep it as it is and build the Satanic later. It's absolutely amazing. So this is a lot of room that Sqreen Squad have to work with, as Hehe lose pretty much everybody.
We'll see what he actually wants to do with this Helm, but for right now, they're going to dive. The Gyrocopter call down is there. They're going to put him in a snowball for a little while and then just tear through him with the God Strength. Illuminate will swoop right in and get the kill. Here comes Phantom Lancer up against 4. I don't really know if you want to be doing that. Blinding Light, though, is going to completely whiff. Fissure is going to split them up. Lance going to be thrown towards Illidan right now. Doppelgang will jump Klinsky over the edge, but now Illidan with the hammer is going to keep himself a little bit safer. There's no Phantom Rush, although there's a Lance, and that'll kill off the Sven. Who else is in danger? It's going to be the Clockwork. He's going to pop the Cogs, but yeah, he's going to fall as well. This time, in the meantime, though, Sqreen Squad, they're very aggressively pushing over this mid lane and forcing the TP in from the Queen of Pain. Still, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Hehe, and it's going to be a 1,500 gold swing.
It's going to help them out a lot. Sqreen Squad may be sticking around a little too long in that bottom lane. Sven wasn't all too healthy and had no great way to sustain himself. Looks like Sven's going to turn this helm straight up into the armlet, so no Helm of the Dominator. He wants to fight now.
All right, armlet on Sven is an item that we don't really see all that often just because Mask Madness BKB is typically a little bit more preferred. But, man, if you could put the armlet up, put the God Strength up, you're going to be trucking with your damage output. Doesn't have maxed out Storm Arrows, instead decided to go for 3 points in the Great Cleave. But, man, cleaving through the kind of softer heroes of the Hehe side, it's very, very possible. Like, no one on Hehe's actually really safe from it. Like, Phantom Lancer may be able to escape from it, but that's not even super reliable considering the chase power of Sqreen Squad.
For sure. And what normally is the most damage efficient item, even on agility carries, Armlet, turns into an amazing item on Sven. Not only is it the 25 damage from strength, but just by the way God Strength works, he gets 50 damage for picking up a 2,700 gold item. It's absolutely absurd.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me, man. The downside is, you know, always something to keep in mind. Alright, so it's a game of whack-a-mole. Thank you, Sqreen, for letting us know what's going on. But, yeah, the downside is certainly there. If Hehe can actually serve to extend these fights, and that is still very possible. Like, with Fissure and with the Disruption, it is very possible to make this Sven awkwardly stand around and not be able to get his hands on, you know, any given target.
Yeah, I said 2,700. It's actually 2,370 after multiple cost reductions. Armlet is, in my opinion, the most underrated item in Dota right now.
Let's say underpurchased. I don't know if it's under... Yeah. I don't know if people are, like, rating it not as highly as it should, but with 50 damage just by turning Unholy Strength on, not to mention all the other stuff it gives you just by being in your inventory, yeah, it's a big item, and it's dirt cheap as well. Like, seriously, 2370? I'm pretty sure to make something like that you would need, what, at least 3k, at least. It should cost that much. I don't know. It gives you a lot.
If we completely ignore the downside of Armlet, first, yeah, that's pretty much a Reaver, a Demon Edge. It's ridiculous.
And, like, what, Vlad's kind of being built in there? I mean, not as much
something
as
like that.
Yeah. All at the cost of 40 health per second. Gotta make a deal.
Toggling this game isn't going to be very good since you have Rocket Barrage, you have Queen of Pain, Dagger, and then you have the poison coming out from the Shadow Demon, but just being able to activate it and run it is more than enough.
Right, and then the rest of the heroes in Sqreen Squad. Wind Ranger is actually the one on top of the net worth chart. Net worth is going to be funneled into what looks like a Aghanim Scepter for her. And that's a perfectly fine item. I don't think you really need to be going for any Force Staff or anything like that just yet. Maybe eventually, maybe a Blink Dagger after the Aghanims, maybe after a Maelstrom or something like that. But Necroman's sitting on quite a lot of net worth that, for the most part, is being mirrored by the Phantom Lancer on the other end. Mostly just going for these small, basic E items. Because I think he forced to fight kind of a lot early on. 215 is really good for Phantom Lancer, but usually you want your Phantom Lancer at this point to be 0-0-0.
Another interesting item purchase, Earthshaker is actually going to go for Power Treads.
Gotta get those auto attacks in.
I like it. It's...
Arcane's
not...
probably better.
Probably better. It's not conventional, but with Tread Switching, it gives you a good amount of mana to work with, and it does farm faster. Once you get Enchant Totem up, then it actually becomes relevant. That extra 8 strength, excuse me, can actually stack up and do quite a lot inside the team fights, but... yeah, I think it's mostly just up to personal choice. If this was an offlane shaker, it would make a lot more sense. Usually your offlane shakers will go Tranquil's Soul Ring, but Power Treads are also acceptable. I think it's just keep wanting to buy Power Treads. It's fine.
Sometimes you just gotta get those Power Treads, man. Queen of Pain wants hers. She's not quite there yet, although She can buy it if she wants to, and it seems like she probably should. I don't really see this turning into anything else, at least the items that she has. But anyone else getting anything really relevant? Just Tranquil's on the Keeper of the Light. We have a Clockwork actually working with the Staff of Wizardry. Looks like it's going to be a 4-staff build for him instead of that Blade Mail. I think if there was a Blade Mail game, this is definitely it. But, 4-staff Blade Mail, I think for the most part, the difference between those two items is kind of marginal. They're mostly interchangeable.
The big benefit of getting the 4-staff first is that you can race the supports on the enemy team to get 4-staff, because you can very easily mind game the enemy whenever you have the 4-staff of your own. Hookshot in, they may be 4-staff immediately afterwards, you can 4-staff catch them in the cogs anyway. So, yeah, it's just another timing window thing. He'll probably get both this game.
Well, at the very least, it's going to be a staff item for him, and we are actually going to get right back into it. I don't think I'm going to get my wish of that first pause being the last one, but whatever. As long as we can progress at some sort of even clip without any sort of loading shenanigans, we should be fine. We have a TP down to the bottom lane. There's 3 heroes down here. Unfortunately for Sqreen Squad, they're all being spotted by an observer ward, so actually getting a kill kind of difficult, although Clockwork, he really wants the Shaker. With only level 1 battery assault, I don't think that's going to be enough, although Flare does hit pretty hard. Yeah, it's only level 7 Clockwork. He needs level 9 at least if he's going to get that kill.
It is also a PT's Earthshaker with 16 wand charges. He's deceptively tanky.
And that's not something you'd ordinarily expect a Shaker with half HP to have, what, like 800 HP? Like, that's not supposed to be half. That's supposed to be him near full. So, Power Treads maybe keeping himself alive for right now, but at the very least, Sqreen Squad, they're still going to put a lot of pressure down to this bottom lane. Sven did most of the work, and with King R still sticking around for that only level 1 Illuminate, they'll be able to beat this tower down. Maybe Hehe decide to mass TP to save it, try to look for a fight, but no, it looks like the tower is just going to fall, and it will be just the Dire to claim it.
No tower trade in sight for the side of Hehe, although the tier 1s in top and mid are already chipped down pretty heavily, just from damage here and there whenever Sqreen Squad have been rotating around.
And King R actually going to put an observer ward that's going to see the Queen of Pain. Oh, Queen of Pain sees everyone as well. Illidan is still hidden right now, and they actually have a pretty good angle to get the jump on this Queen of Pain. They have the Clockwork coming in from the south. Hookshot, though, will be held right now as the Queen of Pain does blink out. Flare's going to spot her again, but again, no kill will be had there. The rest of the Sqreen Squad kind of dirtling around in this bottom area, not really doing too much.
Yeah, they'll just be floating. The Sven is going to pick up his armlet, however, so he has that big leap in power for now, and if he gets armlet blink dagger, that's pretty much the time that Sqreen Squad want to fight. Before the blink, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to find those openings inside those engagements, but if Clockwork can hookshot in, just like in bottom lane, this could go very south for the Queen of Pain. Only 2 points up the blink, as is expected. With the God Strength, it's going to be cleaved apart. So much damage, and all they really needed was that Clockwork initiation.
Yeah, the Sven even forced out the Stormhammer early, got it disjointed as he pretty much expected it to, and then it was just all a trap from there on out. And also, as you said, Queen of Pain only level 8, shouldn't have more than 2 points in that blink, so you force out the first blink, most likely they'll be able to get the kill after that. So it took a long time, of course, for Sqreen Squad to get that kill, but hey, better late than never, and they actually do claim it in the end. Sven, he has 1,000 gold, and he does have that armlet trucking. We'll see if he actually does want to go for the Blink Dagger. Maybe he just wants to go for Mask of Madness and just go for the, a little bit more aggressive Sven build.
Another big benefit of Armlet, it's really good against Roshan. You can take it out, maybe not by yourself convincingly, but if they get like a medallion up on one of their supports, or if they bring Windrunner into the pit, that could fall very quickly. Necroman trying for the TP out against the Phantom Lancer will be cancelled by the Earthshaker. Can they get her out? Not with the Echo Slam. Necroman is slated to fall, and Earthshaker will secure that kill.
The rest of the Sqreen Squad, they are rotated in, but they're 2 seconds away from their hook shot, so couldn't necessarily get there in time. And well, it is going to be still the Clockwork running into MDL. Is he going to decide to not go for that? I thought he would at least, try to close the distance, battery assault, see what he can do with that, but it looks like the Shadow Demon is going to get away. Sven is clearing out it looks like a triple stack of Ancients while the top lane is being pushed. Here comes Sqreen. He's going to be the first one in, but I don't know. He doesn't really have a ton of backup right now. Tower is going to be fortified. They jump right in. Walrus Punch not available. Actually, he's level 6. Doesn't have that leveled up. Why not? They do get the tower denied. Now put Cube in the box. He's going to get put into the bubble afterwards. Sonic Wave will fly through, connecting onto 2 heroes. Shards is still available. Now the Walrus Punch is finally up. It'll be enough to damage Cube, but he's actually not going to be able to get it out. Gets slowed down by the Purge. Illuminate's going to buy him a little bit of cover, but a Blink Scream is going to kill him off. Blind from King R a little bit too late. where are the rest of the heroes from Sqreen Squad? They're on the bottom lane, at least Illidan is, messing with this gyrocopter. If they had just one more hero there, that could have been a double.
He's going in. Illidan's going to stun onto the gyrocopter with the Godstring still activated. 1, 2, 3 shots, and gyrocopter will die on the 4th. That's not something you expect if you're the gyrocopter. Well played, Illidan.
Yeah, suddenly Sven with no HP coming in. Although, you know, what looks like no HP is actually 400, 500, with quite a bit of armor to back that up. Sven really, you can't expect him to get those types of solo kills, but gyrocopter, after having had such a slow start, is not really packing that much. Like, he has almost drums still, Aquila completed. That's not that impressive for a gyrocopter 15 minutes in the game, whereas, you know, Phantom Lancer, this is more where your gyrocopter wants to be with this item slot.
Yeah, drums completed, Aquila, and 1 Blade of Alacrity inside the base. But now with the 4-staff up in the Clockwork, Blink Armlet on your Sven, all that Sqreen Squad are really waiting for is that God Strength cooldown. That's going to be up in just a couple seconds. So this is Sqreen Squad's window to go for a fight. Yeah, we have another pause. It's not great.
I share Teal's sentiment. I agree completely with this Phantom Lancer. He's pretty much right on the money. But right now, the game is, for the most part, completely even. We do have the Blink Dagger on Sven, and if Sqreen Squad are going to be looking for any sort of timing for aggressive plays, it's going to be right now, since Illidan just picked up a damage item and a way to initiate. And the secondary one is going to be when the Keeper of the Light, if the Keeper of the Light gets an Aghanim Scepter, then you can go for these really sustained pushes. Fortunately for Sqreen Squad, the Sven's pick up of the Blink Dagger is also going to line up pretty well with Windranger's pickup of the Aghanims. If she doesn't die very soon, she should have that
within the next minute or so. The unfortunate news for Sqreen Squad is this Keeper is not getting very much space at all. He's the lowest farmed hero inside the game. Although Keeper can farm stacks pretty effectively, they've been giving most of the room to the Tusk whenever it's available.
And it is probably just, in general, preferred. If a Blink Dagger on Tusk is powerful enough, especially up against Queen of Pain and Phantom Lancer, to justify that over the Keeper of the Light, it is probably close. It's debatable as to which one is absolutely better, but you know, the Blink Dagger is a little bit cheaper, so might as well get him that, then Keeper of the Light can explosively farm later on. That's really what Keeper of the Light does. Needs a couple more points of Illuminate to really be effective at it, but hey, you'll eventually get there. Most Keeper of the Lights should.
Armlet's also a great PvE item. Sven's farming inside the enemy woods, and there's not much that he can do to dislodge him unless they rotate absolutely everybody. And right now, the vision for the side of Sqreen Squad is more than sufficient to allow him to stay wherever he wants. That said, there's now a smoke coming out.
He's prepping. No? Okay,
I think this is just farming.
Yeah, I mean, he was spotted the entire time by Radiant Observer Ward, and they pinged him out. But God's Strength to clear off 1 stack of hard creeps? Sure, why not? Necroman, he is invisible, and he's spotted by the Hehe side. I don't think he could actually make anything happen here, even with his Aghanim Scepter. Actually, no, MDL starts to TP out. Necroman looking for the Shackle. Not even going to connect. Will that matter? Disruption. Oh, it's going to come just in time. In the meantime, they actually kill off the Gyrocopter over in the mid lane. Illidan, he's dropped pretty low, but he still has that armlet to toggle out, and he's going to snowball right back into this, to the Echo Slam and the Sonic Wave. Bad snowball there from Sqreen. The Windranger does collect that kill in the end, but at the steep cost of the Sven. Clockwork trying to get out. He does have a 4-staff into a TP, and looks like he will be able to survive this one. He will get out in time, and Kingar the same. But yeah, diving a tier 1 like that without your Windranger, a little bit too over-aggressive there from Sqreen.
After that kill on the Sven, the Earthshaker now has a full Blink Dagger, so this Earthshaker's looking like an offlane Earthshaker in every sense, really. When there's so much mass AoE on the enemy side, Snowball can very much be a double-edged sword, and this time around it's going to bite Sqreen Squad. Earthshaker, I think he just showed off the Blink Dagger in mid, and even if he didn't, I think he was spotted out by a Dire Observer Ward that's over by the Ancients. So although this isn't going to catch Sqreen Squad off guard, it's still a terrifying initiation tool.
Yeah, Sven is, well, it's a melee carry versus Earthshaker, and that's really where Earthshaker wants to be. You land more damage. You get another stun with Enchant Totem without having to work so hard for it. More Aftershock procs. So, you know, this Earthshaker is going to have a Blink Dagger at a pretty fast time. Usually it's like 25 minutes where you want your Shaker to get the Blink Dagger at the latest, but, you know, pre-20 minutes, that's a good timing, and he does have that by then. And the same thing can't really be said for many sort of mobility items on the Sqreen supports, and oh my god, Necroman, please fix your shit. Or people, stop being mean to Necroman.
Yeah, again, Phantom Lancer shares my sentiments.
Yeah.
This is fun. I love looking at a pause screen. There's a smoke on this Earthshaker. He's not going to have Echo Slam for 72 seconds, but he's also going to build into a Belt of Giant Strength item. Whether this be Halberd or not, it's going to give Earthshaker more strength, so his Enchant Totem's going to start hitting hard, although he's probably not going to level that up until now. You kind of want maxed out Fissure, you want at least 3 points in your passive, but he's going to be relevant when it comes to his damage output inside these fights, if he gets a good jump, that is.
It seems like this Earthshaker is now, like, pretty farmed. Like, it seems like he's an offlane shaker that was 1 versus, you know, any given mediocre hero. If he does actually get a Halberd, that might just be backbreaking. Sven will eventually get a BKB, just, you know, to prevent us all the stuns, but Windranger usually doesn't until a little bit later. At least she doesn't want to. So if you just disarm her as soon as she casts her Focus Fire, well, she's going to stand there awkwardly and not focus any fire. So that's big game if the Earthshaker is somehow able to get it. Not to mention the evasion, which is also really good versus those same two heroes.
Compare his net worth to that of the Clockwork. They very well could have laned against each other, at least in a theoretical game that didn't happen. But as far as the status quo is...
Well, yeah. I've run out of, like, willingness to banter after that last game. I just don't have anything else in the tank, dude.
I really don't. That was
I already crapped on Australia. What else is there to do in life?
Yeah, that was at least an hour and a half of banter in that game.
Looking at the items again, looks like nothing else is really coming out except for the Aghanim Scepter on the Queen of Pain. Lil is selling all his items. I don't know what they're talking about, but doesn't Lil just always sell his items? I know there's a player on some team that just always sells his items at the end, or drops them so that it's hard to see what he got. Just a mild inconvenience.
Is he talking about cosmetics?
Oh, is someone like selling all their cosmetics? So in that case, I have no idea what they're talking about, because there's actually no way for me to see, but maybe? The answer is a definite maybe.
I mean, Lil isn't in this game.
I think he just wants to, like, ask Illidan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like no answer question.
It's very philosophical. If Lil drops all of his items and there's no one around, does he lose net worth?
Yes.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, the game's
supposed to be a deep question. All these stupid, supposedly deep questions never have anything good come out of it.
If a quelling blade chops a tree, but nobody's there, did it actually chop the tree? The answer's no, because in fog you can't see trees get chopped down.
Oh, take that. Take that, everybody.
Checkmate.
If you use a tango to eat a tree, and it's shared, doesn't make a sound. I don't even know, dude. Necroman's back, but yeah, that's all we got. I'm done. I'm done with these pauses. Can we just stop doing this?
No more pauses.
Oh man.
The one thing I want to see, one of these days, I want to see Cute Pudge, because he plays it all the time in his pubs.
I'm down with that. I don't think he's going to, because Pudge is unfortunately not really the most viable hero. But one of these days, after playing a straight shaker, I don't think Pudge is really there. Although support Pudge, maybe someday.
Who knows? Well, back into this game, we have a smoke coming out from the side of Hehe that I don't think was spotted out by this observer ward, but it's close. So, let's see if they're privy to this fact. It might catch Necroman off guard, and it looks like Necroman's completely dead. Calldown's going to open up, blinking Queen of Pain with the Fissure from long range. Necroman will get cut off and completely isolated away from anybody else that could have helped him.
Yeah, so that answers that question of, was the smoke in range? Well, should be no, and that's going to be a very easy kill on the Windranger. Now going to try to go for this mid-tier 1. Clockwork's going to return, and he's actually going to spot MDL right now. Hookshot available. Not going to use it just yet, knowing that Disruption is such a backbreaker. He's actually going to go to the Gyrocopter instead. I don't know if that's the correct decision. Does have the Sven coming in right away with the Stormhammer. That's going to be Nias in a lot of trouble, though. Bailed out by the bubbles. The Snowball is going to fly through, and the Flare as well will get the kill. Now MDL's stuck, and he's going to die as well. They do get the Walrus Punch over on the Phantom Lancer, but now Sqreen is out of mana and really doesn't have that much to get out, although with 4 staff from his buddies, he may escape. Shaker not willing to jump in just for a Tusk kill. Going to be a 2-for-1 after all is said and done. Illidan 4, 3, and 7 is doing quite a lot after this Blink Dagger pickup.
And he's doing so much damage inside these fights. They try to kite him around, but they don't do that great a job of it. The Gyrocopter was so low already that any amount of damage would kill him off, and the maxed out flare from Clockwork was that damage that he needed to chase him down. And then Shadow Demon finds himself in a corner with the Sven. And as any support, and especially as a Shadow Demon that's already disrupted something, you really don't want to find yourself in that corner. Earthshaker is prepping an Enchant Totem. Maybe he wants to go in on somebody in mid. He was looking for an angle, but won't find it. Instead, he'll just get a deep ward.
It's still worth it if you can catch Sqreen like right now with his Creep Wave, get an Echo Slam there, and probably take the tower afterwards. He's going to look to steal it, actually. Fissure, Blink, Enchant Totem hit. Nice, clean steal there from Cube. Or at least, I guess, denying the tower deny that Sqreen wanted. So, yeah, well played by Cube, and this Earthshaker, man. Blink Dagger really quick. Quite a lot of gold after that as well. Like, this Shaker is absolutely loaded, and hookshot in. Is going to catch the Queen of Pain, but yeah, the Clockwork's going to decide that he doesn't want a part of that, but Cube actually wants in, gets double bumped by the Cog. Sqreen has a Snowball, but there is not enough backup. Keeper of the Light and Illidan actually are coming from behind. Sqreen does jump in. Sonic Wave's going to clip onto the Tusk with the amplified damage as well. That's going to drop him super quickly, but Illidan 2 shots the Shadow Demon. Now he's looking for more targets. Unfortunately, can't really find any. He has another Blink. Do they see the Queen of Pain shackled? Yes, they do see her, but they can't really afford to give chase any longer. Everyone else from Hehe, they're going to disengage.
A 1-for-1 support for support trade. Definitely not bad for either side. Even though God Strength was used, Illidan will just swing back over and farm some Ancients with the rest of it. So no real space is lost by either team. If anything, that slightly favors Sqreen squad is the Gyrocopter and Phantom Lancer just aren't able to really keep up. Phantom Lancer has drums, has Diffuse Blade, has Aquila, great efficient items for fighting right now, but he's not fighting right now, and the Gyrocopter has such a long way to go. In fact, his net worth is lower than that of his support Earthshaker. Queen of Pain, however, caught down in bottom lane. With the Blink Dagger coming up in the Windrunner, she's able to secure that kill solo, just with the raw amount of focus fire damage.
Yeah, she just picked up that Blink Dagger, used Windrun to get in that much quicker, and Queen of Pain just wanted to farm with the Aghanim Scepter Sonic Wave. The rest of the Wind Rangers team, in the meantime, they're going up towards top. They see the Phantom Lancer, and a Blink Stormhammer can very quickly identify the real one. There it is. They know which one is real. Snowball in with the hugely charged Illuminate. This is going to blow up the PL, and Tusk does grab that kill. It's 2 kills across the map from Sqreen Squad. They could probably get this top tier 1 out of it. Or MDL. That's good too. Another shackle, power shot to the face, and a clean blink out from Necroman, finding 2 very quick kills.
Although not directly related, Sqreen Squad are starting to pick apart Hehe across the map. They're just getting caught out as they try to split push, because they kind of have to. They're heroes in a direct 5-on-5 fight. Unless you have the Earthshaker finding a good Echo Slam, don't really compare at face value, and Sqreen Squad are more than happy to play that game, as with a blink on Windrunner especially. They can be caught out very fast. Sven is nearing his BKB, or at least I assume BKB. He has the Ogre Club and the Mithril Hammer already done. So once you have that Magic Community up on the Sven, maybe a second life from Roshan, Sqreen Squad can start pushing. If this game delays for another 20 minutes, that's where Hehe really have a good chance of coming back into it, as Gyrocopter can become fully relevant. But right now, Gyrocopter just doesn't have enough room.
Unfortunately, 20 minutes worth of gameplay means like 20 minutes worth of pausing. So that's not something I'm looking forward to, but otherwise, you said, Illidan almost has that magic immunity. And well, the Keeper of the Light actually hasn't gone for straight Aghanims. He's going to slow down for a Glimmer Cape. I think that's perfectly fine for him, although I would like to see the Sqreen Squad try to get King Arts a little bit more space. Clearing out a couple creep waves, really, really easy with Keeper of the Light. In fact, he's going to show that off right now. And a fast Aghanim Scepter, if you somehow line that up with, any other item pickup, maybe like a damage item from Wind Ranger, suddenly the pushing is going to be extremely relevant. Like, they will be able to take down the towers with the damage of the Wind Ranger and also sustain hits from the tower. So she could actually just sit there and tank tower shots all day while racing the towers with the Focus Fire.
I might even really like to see a Desolator pick up from the Windrunner, although not 100% common. Could very well work with the timing window that Sqreen Squad are trying to hit. But right now they're going to be hitting Roshan and very hard. With the God Strength activated, Armlet pop, this is going to be a dead Rosh in just a matter of seconds. He can't contest, even though in theory they have great AoE for the Rosh pit.
It's going to be Aegis claimed by Necroman, so now blinking in, kind of YOLO blinking, is kind of viable. And they also do see this Phantom Lancer right now. Clockwork's going to be right on top of him, gets the hook shot, gets the bump back. He's just buying space for the Sven and Windmager to approach in, and here comes the hammer and the shackle. Fisssure's going to be there, but the Phantom Lancer is still in a lot of trouble, and he will go down. Snowball forward from Sqreen, not quite going to connect onto the blinking Shaker. But getting Roshan and a Phantom Lancer kill, that's huge. They do use a 10-second BKB charge for it, so it's not without its costs, but they can still continue onwards with this push if they really wanted to, even without Necroman here.
Yeah, the last couple seconds of God Strength were there for just 1 or 2 hits onto the Phantom Lancer, and it was enough to secure that kill. That's the best target that they could have hoped for. Queen of Pain is close on net worth to the Phantom Lancer, but if you keep this PL down, there's not much that they can do to combat against Sqreen Squad. I think they'll not wholeheartedly look for initiation. Ooh, King R, he gets caught out. He has the Glimmer Cape, bounces the Earthshaker down to the low ground, and now Sven comes in like a bullet train onto MDL with a small Illuminate. They might be able to chase down for the Shadow Demon kill, although with the Disruption, looks like that's unlikely. They're going to demonically purge up Illidan, but here comes the Snowball. They're going to go back over to the Creep Wave. A clean disengage coming up from the Sqreen Squad, but now a TP into the tower, going to be cancelled by the Earthshaker as he's locked in by the Clockwork with the Focus Fire. Cube is going to die, even with the call down committed. And Sqreen Squad again are just finding kill after kill after kill, and now Phantom Lancer wants to join in, but the Queen of Pain gets caught out, power shot to the face, and he doesn't cancel his TP. The Phantom Lancer is caught out without a team. The Snowball will be cancelled. Now jumping forward, the Stormhammer will connect, and another power shot kill, a triple kill for Necroman. And Sqreen Squad, they lose absolutely nothing. God Strength cooldown, it's not even close. Tier 2 tower immediately after the fact will fall as well.
The Aegis is also still up on Necroman, so Sqreen Squad, they survived with absolutely everyone. That was, I feel like he just getting a little bit on tilt, like they literally went in one at a time. It was, you know, first the Phantom Lancer to get caught out, and that's bad, but then you kind of concede the tier 2 tower afterwards, since you do need those heroes to fight, having the Shadow Demon being picked off, then the Earthshaker getting hit. Like, it just fell apart from there, and they kept on teleporting heroes in one at a time. The Queen of Pain got in straight into a Shackle and a Stormhammer. Phantom Lancer, the same thing, so it's not really any situation that happens if a team is cool, calm, and collected. That really only happens if a team is a little bit in a state of disarray, if there maybe is a little bit of miscommunication, but it's going to be fine for Sqreen Squad. Man, they collected huge off of that. They have a fresh BKB now coming up on the Wind Ranger. They have a Blade Mail completed on this Clockwork, and King R is that much closer to his Aghanim Scepter, although running right next to the Shaker. Oh, this could be bad for him. Blink forward, Enchant Totem with the Sonic Wave. That's a real dead keeper. Here comes Illidan, has a Blink Stormhammer. He wants to go for the Shaker. He finds him in a corner, and Cube is completely boned. He's going to get 3 shot down. They also do have a Queen of Pain in their sights as well. She used her Blink in an awkward position right now. They have a Shackle, which is going to connect on the Soul Tree that's there. Sqreen going to snowball in with the punch. That's 2 kills for Sqreen Squad in exchange for a keeper. Yeah, I'll take that trade any day of the week.
And a freeze here, 1, why not? God Strength is going to chunk down that tower, and although they do have a glyph, which will be refreshed after this tower dies, it's win after win after win for Sqreen Squad because they've itemized in such a way that they can capitalize on Hehe getting caught out very easily with blinks on both Windrunner as well as on the Tusk, Clockwork Hookshot, blink on the Sven. Everybody can get in position if they find a single hero, and Hehe just aren't in a spot this game where they can stop that or react in any meaningful fashion. It's really the Earthshaker, the only player that can set up on those kills after they commit, and it was the Earthshaker to get picked off first.
Maybe if Shaker actually gets a decent Echo Slam, doesn't even need to hit it on like 4 heroes at this point, just like a 2-man slam, that'll do with the Fissure follow-up, Enchant Totem, etc, etc. That'll be fine. Illidan, well, he doesn't have any backup. He's thinking about going into the enemy base. That's a bad idea. Outside of that, they have Sonic Wave, they have Call Down. These are some pretty nice skills, but not when you go in one at a time, not when the Sqreen Squad are constantly picking you off, and still Necroman has that Aegis, so yeah, you may be able to pick off the Wind Ranger just in the mass amounts of AoE. You can't really afford to do that twice. Now down towards bottom, well, Sqreen is going to teleport down there, but the rest of the team, they have their eyes set on the mid lane tier 2. Necroman is going to start focusing his fire. It's fortifiable, this tower, but even if they use it, what are they going to do afterwards? There's not much follow-up here, even if they do hold this tower. So it looks like Necroman should be getting this one for free.
And he has a 10-second BKB. Although it's not the Desolator I was describing, it's going to make pushing high ground a lot easier for them. And now he's going to build into straight-up damage. It's Crystallis now. And everybody is a potent threat inside these fights, even the Keeper of Light to a lesser extent. The Blinding Light's going to be really annoying for them to deal with, and oh my... Okay, that's not even fair. Demonic Purge is going to buy them some space, but Illidan was going into that fight willingly 1v3, and he can get away with it.
Oh, Tusk, he's going to go 1 versus 1. He's not going to get away with that, because I think he does clean him up down towards bottom pretty easily at that. They're going to try to yank in the Wind Ranger, but the Phantom Lancer is way too far away, so it looks like he'll just be able to get away with that one. Yeah, this Sven is working with some pretty serious damage right now, and it's going to get even worse. He has a Hyperstone, which I can only assume is going to be built into an AC, and after that, it should be a crit item for him. Yeah, I mean, you get the armor, you get the damage, and then it's all pretty balanced there for Sven. He's already in, like, 3-4 shot territory for any given Hehe hero. It's going to get even worse, and up towards top lane, Queen of Pain going to try to blink out. Shackle, oh, Necroman slightly off point with the power shot. Would have otherwise been able to get that kill.
A narrow escape for them, but Sqreen Squad are still in a good situation. The Phantom Lancer is a bit of a problem if they get caught out alone. But inside the team fights, Phantom Lancer is not going to be very comfortable. And ooh, there's an Invis Clock stalking this Gyrocopter with the Blade Mail. Could go just by himself. But if they have any backup, this kill gets a lot easier. Maybe not from the Keeper of the Light.
Oh, the cannon. Here it comes. He's charging his laser. And the laser's going to connect, destroy the Gyrocopter's HP pool. He does dig himself out, and the hookshot misses. The Gyrocopter gets to get away. I think even if the hookshot landed, he probably would have survived. But yeah, if they get the ultimate from Keeper of the Light there, if they bring in anyone, then they get the kill. But over towards mid, Cube is going to get snowballed to death. And he's going to be the casualty instead.
It's still a very good pickoff for them. The Earthshaker is absolutely critical for Hehe to take a fight. So for 40 seconds, or now only 30, they can't stop Illidan from doing this. He might just go on under this Phantom Lancer. He thought about it. He's going to think better of it. He'll lose all of his mana, but still, this is pretty critical. Illidan can't be stopped. If they try to go into this, they're just going to be grinded down. It's absolutely hilarious to watch.
And now that he has a little bit of extra mana, he's going to blink straight in. Glimmer, he's going to get a little bit of extra magic resistance to prevent himself from taking damage from those missiles, but now he's got the armlet toggle. Snowball's here, buying him even more time. It is going to, yeah, actually get him out to safety, it seems. He's going to take a Sonic Wave and fails to armlet toggle that one, but they actually catch Kozliki with the Shackle. Necroman can't do the damage, and Phantom Lancer gets to live. Now they're on to King R, who's going to try to juke through the trees, TP out. Cube should be able to interrupt that. Not in range, needs the Echo Slam. Can't get it off, or at least doesn't want to get it off. That is a little bit too aggressive there from Sqreen Squad. Yeah, maybe if they had their entire team there when it started, they can get away with it, but not like that.
Take a look at the fight recap. That's so much gold for their team, and all things considered, more than a 5,000 gold swing, 6,000 experience swing. That's really going to put a damper on things for Sqreen Squad. And just like that, if Shadow Demon wants it, he's fed a Blink Dagger. He's the one that got most of the gold in that last fight. It's a 4-staff for him, fair enough.
Yeah, more or less does the same thing, gets allies out of trouble, and that's pretty much exactly what you want. Other items, Ultimate Orb on the Queen of Pain, S&Y completed now on the Lancer, with Diffusal Blade really showing its value up against the typically low mana hero of the Sven. And, well, this Earthshaker is still throwing out those stuns, and he has gone for the Sange, has a Ring of Regen in his inventory, so it's not directly going to be a Halberd. This doesn't build into anything, does it? Am I just crazy? He's going to find King R. Instant Glimmer out, but the stuns are still there. Queen of Pain is coming in. Looks like that's not going to happen.
Casual Sange into something later. I'm not sure what the Ring of Regen is about. Maybe he was going to lose gold when he's dying, just buys a quick Ring of Regen for a 4-staff later.
Yeah, or Vlad's. There are
something
a
like
lot
that.
of good items that he can get right now, but Illidan, he has God Strength prepped. He sees the Queen of Pain. She just used her Blink, but she has Lincoln Sphere. And she will eat the Stormhammer with the Sphere and get out safe and sound. Now Sven needs something like an Abyssal if he's going to get those types of kills.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for the Sven there, but at least they get the knowledge that Queen of Pain has that Lincoln Sphere inside that fight, and they do have a couple good ways to pop that, especially inside engagements. Mana Leak, since it's only level 1, is one of the better Lincoln's poppers in the game.
It's a skill that, though when it's level 4, it's something you don't really want to be wasting. At this point, it's just fully expendable. Shackle Shot, not as much. If you use that on Lincoln Sphere, you're not super happy, and that's about all they have, actually.
But to be fair, if they shackle somebody else or Stormhammer somebody next to the Queen of Pain, they can still CC her.
Yeah. There's still upside there, but I like this Queen of Pain's itemization. We don't often see this Lincoln Sphere, but it protects yourself against very, very relevant skills, and Sqreen Squad don't really have any, I guess, waste skills that they could afford to just throw away. They're going to try to go for this bottom lane, but here's where Keeper of the Light comes back into play in a different way. He's going to be a very hard hero to push into.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the game slowed down quite a bit. Sqreen Squad bite off more than they can chew, and now it's time to look for this Roshan, or maybe a fight down bottom. They'll pop the God Strength, they want to continue chasing, and it's going to be Sqreen to do just that. He's going to snowball forward, he finds himself PL, and Keeper disconnects. Alright, so...
Well, it's good timing at least for, you know, for the people who are causing these internet issues. What I see going down right now is that Snowball's going to catch on the Lancer, Tusk's going to throw all his skills, and then Cube is just going to come in and crush everyone, because Sqreen Squad do not know where he is. That's my prediction.
Okay. Well, we have some time to think about this prediction. If they do get clumped up, that could happen, but there's also BKB AC on the Sven, and BKB on the Windrunner, so even if they get caught out, it's going to have to be completely blindsided from them. Gyrocopter's not in a good position to join this fight, although he has a TP. The closest tower is tier 3 bottom, so that's not relevant. And Queen of Pain doesn't have Sonic Wave for 3 seconds. He could still turn this very easily, but if the BKBs, like if Sqreen Squad have like godlike reactions, or if they consider that Earthshaker could be in the side shop, and it looks like they might, this could go poorly for Hehe's side as well. This is going to be a very critical fight.
Yeah, if Hehe are going to win this one, they need to Sonic Wave and Echo Slam very, very well. And the Shadow Demon Disruption has to be on point. Like, if that messes up, or if that's not on the correct target, it's really hard to tell who's the correct target, but well, we'll see how it's going to go down. Snowball in, it's going to be onto the Phantom Lancer Sqreen, going to Walrus Punch him in. The rest of the team, they're a little bit slow incoming, although they're eventually going to arrive right onto MDL. He's going to get hit with a Shackle, and he's going to die. Now here comes Illidan, looking for another target. They do see this Phantom Lancer, and they also see this Queen of Pain. She'll blink deeper into the trees as the Phantom Lancer, waiting for his Doppelgang, is going to get a little bit of extra space. Is that going to be enough? Because Necroman's going to get right in front of him with a Shackle. That's going to connect, and Sven doesn't have any more God Strength, but he still has a hell of a lot of damage. He'll clean up that kill. And it looks like Shaker just got out of there safe and sound. No Echo Slam even being used.
It might be good for them that they didn't... I didn't see a good angle for Cube to actually find that jump. And it's going to kind of fall apart for Hehe. They lose their Phantom Lancer, and that is a target that they can't really afford to be losing. But at least it wasn't a full 5-man wipe. They still have to deal with this push down to bottom. There is no buyback on the PL, so he's down on the sidelines for 50 seconds. That said, I think they can hold. They have more than enough spam to keep these waves out. What they are going to give up is Roshan.
This is the secondary Roshan. It should still be picked up by Necroman. I think Illidan's probably tanky enough to, just have him be fine with the items that he has. He has a hell of a lot of armor, 32 in fact. My god, with that Armlet and Assault Cuirass, not to mention the War Cry, which is going to increase it, plus 40. Seems fair. Radiant's Courier, where was that? Looks like it was probably the Clockwork to snipe it. Why can't I click on the Courier? Okay, yeah, there it is. It was just chilling in the Secret Shop. Wasn't holding anything. Not a terribly huge deal, but still, it's extra gold for Sqreen Squad, so taking the Courier gold, taking the Roshan gold, and they will be ready to make pretty much any play that they want right now. Maybe with the Daedalus and Windranger.
Yeah, she'll have the gold for that near enough after the Roshan. She'll get the last hit, so she does. And now with Daedalus, Aegis, BKB, Blink, Acronym Scepter on the Windrunner, and with Sven being absolutely stacked, this could go very, very poorly. But Blink, Echo Slam, Sonic Wave up top. They'll kill up the Clockwork. But with all those spells on cooldown, this up-and-coming high ground push is going to be a lot harder to defend against.
Hehe, their Echo Slam is so valuable to them right now, and Clockwork, his initiation, is nice and everything, but the blinking power of Tusk, Windranger, and Sven is going to keep their initiation power really high, Sqreen Squad, so in theory, they could go for something still. They're probably just going to wait for the Clockwork and have a 60-second window where Clockwork is up and Shaker's ultimate is not up. So you do make that play much earlier on in the game, but this late you need that Echo Slam up, down towards bottom. Illidan, 2-shot? Oh yeah, 2-shot. Very easily at that is going to clean up the Shadow Demon. Uses a BKB charge for it, although it's minimum duration, not a terribly huge deal. It's going to be a super easy kill for Illidan.
Most kills, let's be honest, are super easy for the Sven. If he can get his hands on them. They have the Acronym Scepter now and the Keeper of Light. And this is pretty much the perfect storms for Sqreen Squad. They have all of the items that they've been waiting for. This is their window to go for something big. Keep is going to have his Echo Slam in 60 seconds. If Sqreen Squad go now, this could just be a giving up racks. I don't really see he defending in any meaningful way.
Well, Sqreen Squad, ideally they would like to wait just 2 minutes to try to get daylight up. They can yank in everyone with the Keeper of the Light, who now does have that recall always available, and it looks like they will start assembling the troops down towards bottom lane, but the Illuminate does not heal just yet, and that is where most of the power comes out from this Aghanim Scepter. It makes Illuminate absolutely freaking insane. Blinding Light always available, also really nice, but I don't know, the right clicks of Hehe aren't quite strong enough to be truly terrified of them. They're still going to go for this push, and I think they could just slow roll this bottom lane enough so that eventually it's going to be 40 minutes, and eventually daylight is going to come, and Necroman going to get put into a bubble, save himself from the fissure damage. He still has the Aegis, and he's going to go straight for the tower. Sonic Wave is there. He doesn't have a Force Staff out. Someone has to get him out. He's going to get hit with the missile. More stacks of Shadow Poison, but here comes Illidan cleaving through on everyone. He's not going to kill off MDL, actually not going to kill off anyone right now, but the shards will snag one as the Aegis is procced by the Wind Ranger. Illidan just going to plow right through the melee racks. Is easily done. His Necroman looking for another shackle on the top side, will fail that one, but it's still Illidan who's doing all the damage right now. Still has BKB, will pop it right before Cube comes in. Now on the hammer onto Cube, he'll blow him up and take down the rest of the Raxes. Just like that, Sqreen Squad don't even need to wait for 40 minutes. They just walk right in and take everything they want.
They don't get any high priority kills, unlike the Gyrocopter, Phantom Lancer, Queen of Pain, but it just doesn't matter. Sqreen Squad couldn't be stopped in that situation, and it's not going to get better. They're getting more items after these high ground pushes. Sven has another slot completely empty, or at least it will be once he sells his Magic Wand to replace. The Windrunner, having lost the Aegis, is now up to another 2,000 gold on top of a fresh Daedalus. And the supports have everything, and now it's daylight. You were talking a lot about the Aghanim Scepter being relevant on the Keeper of Light. Now they have what is effectively a 10-second mech heal, and even better than that.
He's going to get popped by Wind Ranger. He does have a buyback, but yeah, I think that's just gold out of his pocket right now. He's so close to a BKB. In fact, he does have enough gold to buy it, but I don't know if the BKB is going to save you up against the damage of the Sven and the Wind Ranger. Even without Focus Fire, Wind Ranger can mess up the Gyrocopter's day.
Yeah, it's very scary for Hehe at the moment. Phantom Lancer kind of is their only hope. He's getting a decent amount of farm, but he's still one endgame item behind where the Sven and where the Windrunner are. And he kind of needs to be on parity if he wants to compete. And even on parity, the Sven rips him, like, absolutely limb from limb.
Especially with a fresh Daedalus.
Yeah.
That'll help.
We're getting to one-shot territory on these supports, and even on the cores, like, 2-3 shot isn't impossible.
Yeah, so for Hehe, they need to be very quick with the Purge, I guess. If you get the Demonic Purge on Sven, he becomes a really bad hero. Like, he's really tanky. He doesn't do any damage because he can't hit anyone, though. So that's probably the most important thing. This Shadow Demon's play has to be completely on point. But it's also so hard when you're getting one shot. Like, you can't play around getting one shot. What the hell are you supposed to do? Oh, speaking of one shot, we'll see. Kozinki gonna get initiated over in the mid lane. Shackle's gonna land. Not necessarily one shot, because Phantom Lancer does have 24 armor, but PL's down for 80 with no buyback.
The Sven is critting for almost 1,500 nearabouts. If anybody gets caught, it's pretty much all but over. And even if he doesn't catch a hero, this tier 3 tower is not going to be long for the world. His God Strength is going to wear off, so it's a little bit less absurd, but still pretty insane. They're going to look for the Shackle, doesn't latch to the hookshot, and they catch out Cube. That's probably the best target they can catch. Force Staff away, but Bolt the Clock and the Earthshaker will keep them safe. Call down onto the ground, but Sven doesn't really care. He has the BKB, will blink out of trouble. BKB's pop galore, and Windrunner is going to cleave through the poor Earthshaker. Now a hookshot, and another one with the Aghanim Scepter up on the clock will connect onto the Shadow Demon. They'll punch up HWA into the air, but they don't quite have the follow-up damage. Sqreen is a little too deep. The Glimmer Cape, will that actually save his life? No. He's going to die, but with a power shot, they'll kill off the Gyrocopter just as quickly. Buyback from the Gyrocopter. They need to kill off Illidan here, or at the very least, Necroman. They'll put Illidan into a bubble and slow him down, but this Sven really is too tanky for them to jump into, and it's going to have God Strength in 10 seconds. They need to be careful. Walrus Punch over onto HWA. No follow-up from the Windrunner, no follow-up from the Sven, so Queen of Pain is going to be safe for a little while longer, but with a snowball, with the hookshot, with the power shot, almost enough, but she'll evade death by dodging that power shot and the Illuminate coming out from the Keeper of Light. Looks like Sqreen Squad have had enough, at least for the time being, but oh, blink in! It's going to be from the Windrunner right into a Sonic Wave. Queen of Pain gets a large lump sum of gold hookshot in. Clockwork hits creeps, and it looks like he's bitten off a little bit more than he can chew, but here comes the Sven. He has God Strength again. He has armor he wants in, but maybe he shouldn't. We'll blink out And since he's only sitting on, like, what, 300 HP, he's going to have to wait a little while longer. But, oh no, the Earthshaker blinks in. He's going to pop the BKB on the Sven. Smack! And another smack is going to be the death of the Shaker. The Sven is still in a lot of trouble, but he gets a heal from the Illuminate. Now King R is going to glimmer himself out. If he chase, this could be the end of it if they don't deal with the Sven into the snowball. Sven's going to look for the Phantom Lancer illusions, but there's none.
At this point,
Or the real one isn't there. They'll bounce back the Phantom Lancer over the cogs, but they'll look to chase forward, blink forward. There's going to be another disruption trying to save MDL's life. It's on a couple of illusions, and now they're going to chase forward. Sqreen, is he actually going to die this time? He can't get his blink off. He has a snowball to delay, but the Sven has already had enough. He's all the way back to base, so Sqreen is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, there you go.
I have no idea what the hell happened in that fight. It lasted throughout like the entire bottom half of the map. And, well, a couple of noteworthy things. Sqreen Squad, they did buy out with this Tusk and look to end the game. With the Keeper of the Light essentially giving the Tusk travels, that is something that you can do, but Tusk ends up dying twice. The Sven does end up getting away, and yeah, he'll be yanked right back into the fight, but I don't really know if many King R Illuminates actually connected on allies. Like, when they were going for that first push, the fight was so scattered. Like, there were heroes on the top side, there were heroes in the middle, and usually you just illuminate into the crowd and you usually end up healing a lot, but I don't think those illuminates were actually too accurate. So Sqreen Squad were taking a lot more damage than they ordinarily should have, and well, that forced them out of the base, as you said, kind of early, and yet they were always picked off on the retreat. So a little bit of messy plays there from the Sqreen Squad. Also deciding to go for that when their God Strength was down, like, that's not the proper timing, and now they're not going to get fissured. That's nowhere close, but Tusk is going to be alive in 20. They don't have Aegis, they don't have Cheese. They do have only 25 seconds, though, to wait for Roshan. This game is really favoring Sqreen.
Yeah. That last push, although it was a little bit sloppy, all it really buys is the Queen of Pain's Octarine Core. And I'm not 100% on board with this item, at least in this game for Queen of Pain. It's a nice item to have. Having the ridiculously low 30-second cooldown on her ultimate is great and all, but, well, Illidan, he's Pop God Strength. He wants to go, so maybe we have to hold that thought. He's going to cut the creep wave. He's completely alone. He has BKB, but this could go poorly for him. Forced to pop the BKB, trying to pop HWA, not able to stump that Queen of Pain. They have one Sonic Wave. They have a call down onto the ground. His BKB's worn off, and Illidan's complete without his team. So regardless of item choices, HWA is dominating, kills off a very high priority target.
You can't afford to throw away your Sven like that. He's worth so much, in a 2,000 gold gain, 3,000 experience as well for the rest of Hehe. The rest of the Sqreen Squad, they're in Roshan clearing that one out. I think this is the Cheese, and it is, so Sqreen should be grabbing that one for himself soon. But even with the double life and the Wind Ranger, with no Sven, it is very possible to see Hehe get a couple of towers here. Top lane, Hawa's already there. He'll Sonic Wave that one. He'll clean that one up really quickly. Over towards the bottom river, they do drop Klansky right low, and well, it's going to be Necroman to glimmer out, and looks like they should be able to all leave. Yeah, now's not the time to fight without your Sven, but still top lane, this Queen of Pain's still going with a decreased cooldown. She'd kill off creep waves really quick, and someone from Sqreen Squad has to back off right now. But when the Sven does respawn, with the double life and the Wind Ranger, maybe they're going to look for a second set of Raxes. You gotta remember that bottom lane has been taken quite a long time ago.
Yeah, this is where the Octarine Core on Queen of Pain does shine, as you kind of already mentioned. It's very good for cleaning out the creep waves. You have one, literally every creep wave, I mean Sonic Wave. And so it is going to help them out here, but inside the actual fights proper, I'm not sure exactly what HWA's goal is going to be. Kind of blinks in, gets Sonic Wave off, that's nice and all, but if it's during daytime and one Illuminate comes out, that Sonic Wave is more or less mitigated, so I kind of want HWA to get a Scythe or something on top of it, to where you really get value out of that cooldown reduction.
For right now, the Queen of Pain needs power, not really as much as consistency. Consistency is certainly very nice, but you really need to make sure that you deal with the Sven in a decisive manner, and Octarine Core is not that item. Sheepstick is a great way to kill him off. They're looking at the bottom lane where the Phantom Lancer is going to try to retreat. Tusk, well, he's not going to have an angle there, but now that Sven's back up, they should be able to yank him in with King R very shortly. Maybe after Sven messes up this Queen of Pain's day. Again, with this Lincoln Sphere, a little bit difficult to keep tabs on her. But still, Sqreen Squad, they're not done playing aggressively. Daytime is going to fall in just 10 seconds, and then the push is going to get real scary.
Theoretically, they have to deal with 3 lives on this Windrunner. She has 7,000 gold in the bank, and although she doesn't really want to replace anything now, she can buy back by Boots of Travel, and then, I don't know, another Crystallis or something. I'm not sure exactly what her 6th slot is going to be, and it's probably not going to be that, but that's just kind of the ballpark of how much money she has, so it's pretty ridiculous. I'd like to see Sqreen Squad at least attempt another high ground push soon.
could even get a sheep stick for herself. Just blink in, sheep the Phantom Lancer, then you could slowly look for an angle of initiation. Illidan is going to try to get yanked in, but Sonic Wave is going to cancel that. This Queen of Pain is being a very annoying rat for Sqreen Squad to deal with. Eventually, they will just yank in the Sven and brute force the lane and force the Queen of Pain back, but man, she's doing her best to buy her team just a little bit of space, but it looks like that space is just about to run out. Right now, they need a really good Echo Slam to connect. I don't know if anything else is going to cut it because Sqreen Squad have all their tools, plus Aegis, plus Cheese, this time with God's Strength as well, and it's daytime.
With all of the gold that Queen of Pain's been picking up by Sonic Waving down these creep waves, she does have a Scythe of Ice, or, yeah, it's done inside the base should she need to pick it up. But yeah, here's your jump.
Well, maybe not. Just keeping Nihis a little bit scared. And this time
it was lagging super hard for me as well.
Okay. Well, I'm fine. Clearly, everyone.
Well, good for you.
Everyone needs to get their computers as good as mine, and internet connections and whatever. But okay, God Strength is popped on the Sven. Shadow Poison connected, so he isn't able to blink in just yet. God Strength, it lasts for quite a long time, but yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to decisively take a fight, so they may just have to settle for range Raxes here, Sqreen Squad.
I don't know. The amount of damage that they have is pretty ridiculous. The only thing they have to work through is the Glyph of Fortification. If they can force out that Glyph, even if they lose a life or two, maybe they lose the Sven, maybe they lose the Windrunner, they should be able to brute force their way through the structures.
Necroman also used his Focus Fire. I'm not sure on what. And, well, okay, we have a little bit of lag. I see it now. Looks like my lag is just laggier than your lag. Because it even lagged in coming in.
I see.
Yeah.
That's super meta.
I know. New hats. Guys, can we remake? We gotta get these hats up. God. Please no.
These better be beautiful hats.
This game actually might end right now, so like the fact that it's lagging at this point, kind of unfortunate.
They could have waited just like 10 minutes.
Just wait for us, guys. Sqreen Squad, they definitely have enough brute force power to take a fight, win a fight, end the game. Buyback status, only one on the Radiant. It's only Queen of Pain, and that's nice and everything. Here's where the consistency comes through. If you die, you'll always have a Sonic Wave and you pop back up, but yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to stall out in time. Sqreen Squad may just walk in, take Raxes through Fortification, then walk out.
In other news, Gyrocopter's homing missiles sound does not stop through pauses.
That is true. Kind of hear it, even though it's not even flying.
It's just on the ground, sputtering.
Unless it is flying and it's glitched out. Alright, let's try again. It looks like that's much better. Alright, so God's Strength, it's running out of time, but Necroman, he's just going to go straight to work on the melee Rax. He's going to get hit with the Sonic Wave, Glimmer, and keep him a little bit safer as the melee Rax, they're fortified now. They get another hook shot onto this Gyrocopter. Where's Sven's jump in? Not just yet. He's going to instead go for MDL. Two-shot him. That's one down already. Now looking for another target, but the call down slow, really making it hard for him to actually find anyone to hit, and he has to actually get some backup right now. Here's Snowball and the heal through with the Illuminate. Sven now at actually decent fighting shape. It's Klazinki on the front lines along with Knees, but his BKB is running dry. This Gyrocopter will try to go for Sqreen right now. They'll take down the Tusk very convincingly. Now look for the Sven and King R both, who are being chased down by Cube. There's no fissure here, but King R getting tagged with the missile should be dropped very rapidly. Illidan has another missile after him right now. He'll try to book it, but in the meantime, his Clockwork buddy gets picked off, and now he's going to get hit with the Shadow Strike. Slow down just a little bit. Turns around for the Stormhammer. Once again, Link Sphere is going to absorb that. The Shackle Shot, not going to lash, but the Echo Slam is there to save the Queen of Pain. Still, Illidan is actually going to die to the poison. He got stunned with the missile and then armlet toggled poorly, and he will drop. However, melee Rax taken in a 4-for-1 trade, actually pretty good for Hehe, but I don't know, they might be losing a little bit too much.
They already lost a full lane of barracks down in bottom, so unless they can snap back and go for a fight immediately, this is still really bad for them. You have a straight-up MKB on the Wind Ranger if she wants to fly that out to herself, and actually she has MKB and buyback. That's terrifying. So much gold has been pooled up on Necroman, and now he's going to smoke himself. If you catch a Blink Shackle on anybody, I don't care who it is, they are going to die if they're alone and don't have the sufficient backup. Blink at Sonic Wave, they'll clean up the Creep Wave and the Tier 2. Shackle's going to be attempted, but dodged. Very nice about Doppelganger. Now Necroman's in a whole heap of trouble. Doesn't pop to BKB, and Necroman will go down. But as I said, he does have buyback, so Sqreen Squad should not be losing any more than just this Tier 2, although I think buyback, at least from one of the Wind Ranger or the Sven, is going to be mandatory.
The Illuminate chip damage is going to start stacking up. Phantom Lancer Does have a lot of health right now, plus he has lifesteal. He has to work through that blinding light. He has no MKB, so that's a little bit unfortunate for him. Up towards the top lane, actually. Clockwork gonna get into a little bit of a fight, but he will back off safely from this. They're going slowly but surely, Hehe, but this Keeper of the Light's defense is something that's really hard to get through in any given game. Tier 3 tower may fall, but now you have to go through the Raxes. And King R is going to keep spamming out this Blinding Light, keep on spamming out that Illuminate. Range Raxes may fall. That's not really going to bother Sqreen Squad too much. It's really the melee that's prioritized. Now here comes the Sven. He's back from the dead. No Wind Ranger for another 50 seconds. Kind of a suicidal play previously to make it so that Sqreen Squad are not their full fighting force, but looks like he will fall back regardless. They take a tier 3, they take range Raxes, and that's fine, but it's not enough given the state of their own base.
I would say that's really bad. In fact, they don't force out the buyback from either the Sven or the Windrunner. That's what they needed to get objective-wise out of that. If they get the range barracks plus buyback on Sven and Windranger, that's really good for Hehe, but that last fight, although it was technically pretty good for them, it loses them a melee barracks, and melee barracks at this point is pretty much everything. They can't hold against it. They have a Phantom Lancer that's pretty stacked. He has lifesteal, in fact, a full Satanic done, and Queen of Pain with the Sonic Wave spam on a 30-second cooldown can keep out these waves, but it's going to pretty much tie up those two heroes in one of those lanes non-stop if they want to push at the same rate as Sqreen Squad, and then if they ever get into a trade scenario, Windrunner and Sven just do too much damage.
They could even, at a certain point, if needed, Sqreen Squad just suicide their heroes into these Raxes. If this one range Rax somehow still stands, then Sven can kill it off in just a couple hits. Wind Ranger, same exact thing with the Power Shot, or with the Focus Fire, rather. So these buildings for Hehe, they're super valuable, just as valuable as any other game, perhaps even more so, because of how explosive Sqreen Squad's destruction power is versus these buildings. They still have 3,600 gold in the Wind Ranger, 4,300 on the Sven, and Sven at this point may need to think about getting rid of this Blink Dagger, maybe even eating a Moon Shard.
I think Moon Shard is going to be his next item, then you probably replace Armlet with Satanic.
So Satanic, Armlet, or Satanic, Moon Shard, Travels, he's getting there. He's super farmed right now.
This is the issue with Sven, though. You run out of slots, quite frankly, and Queen of Pain is 6-slotted now if she decides to pick up her next item, which it looks to be Ethereal Blade, which is actually really good. If you take a look at how much intelligence she has, that nuke is going to hit really hard, and that's also a time that Sven can't hit anything. His BKB's down to 5.
Even though you would ideally like to use the blast on the Sven. Oh, wait, she's in a little bit of trouble. However, Lincoln Sphere is going to interrupt it, and she will get blown up before the bubble comes in. Because the cogs go up, the heal is going to fly through everyone on Sqreen Squad, and the Gyrocopter is going to stand and fight, but versus the Sven, it's not really going to work out that well. Illidan does end up going down in the end, and he somehow still stands as the Fissure connects onto 4 heroes. They will be forced to back up. Necroman needs a little bit more cover. It's going to be the Clockwork to fall first. Blink forward, looking for a little bit more. They'll get the Blinding Light out, but Cube's going to force staff himself in a little bit closer, looking for King R. Does interrupt the TP, does claim that kill. Now they're onto Sqreen, and Sqreen doesn't really have much hope here. He has the cheese, but that's not going to do jack. Buys himself some time with the Snowball. Necroman lives, but man, I thought that'll go a lot better for Sqreen Squad. This Sven just couldn't stand up to all that damage.
The good news for them is that it does force out a Queen of Pain buyback, so that Ethereal Blade that we were talking about right before that fight isn't going to be relevant for another 1,000 gold. And the base is still in a pretty good situation for Sqreen Squad since their lanes are pushing out. However, this is a window for Hehe that they didn't have previously, and actually that's an F-Blade for the Shaker. That's a terrifying amount of farm for Cube. He's even going to hold buyback if he wanted to. He could finish up the Halberd, but I'll scratch that. This is a really big window for Hehe. If they don't get barracks, it's still good for Sqreen Squad since they'll have the Queen of Pain's buyback on CD, but I'm not sure if they can hope for that.
Only the Sven and Clockwork have buyout right now. The Gyrocopter is going to run into an invisible Wind Ranger. She has all the time in the world to land a shackle. There it is with the Focus Fire. My god, Gyrocopter is not going to last long. Okay, 100 seconds on the sideline. Suddenly, it's not as much of a big opening for the Hehe side. Necroman finding a really fortunate rune in that Invis, and is going to delay any sort of push that was going to be coming out from the Hehe side. This is going to let everyone in Sqreen Squad respawn, and well, we'll see what they could actually get off of this. Hehe, unfortunately, don't have a Roshan to get. It's going to, again, the game is favoring Sqreen Squad just with the RNG of the Roshan respawn.
Yeah, and this is also the power of Keeper of Light. Great at holding high ground. As we saw it earlier, making sure that Sqreen Squad themselves weren't forced to use buyback. So now, here in a situation where they're 4v5, although they do have buyback in the Gyrocopter, they can't really afford to spend it. This Gyro compared to where you want your gyrocopter to be, is super under-farmed. In fact, it's still a situation where the net worth of the gyro and the Earthshaker isn't that far off. Some of that's chalked up to the fact that Earthshaker is super farmed, but it's just not a gyrocopter that can really be reckoned with in the late game. You have drums, SNY, BKB. That's really not much 56 minutes into the game.
He needs, like, a butterfly. He will eventually get a Satanic, but an MKB or Daedalus or one of those types of Demon Edge items for him, just to be a little bit more of a threat. But right now, Sven's going to grab his double life, drops the armlet for it. Looks like he's going to hold on to that with the courier. Cheese is also going to be given towards someone, probably Sqreen. He's just organizing his inventory just a little bit. So we got Cheese and Aegis again on the Sqreen squad, and now they're looking for yet another fight. There are some big items on Hehe, and they have so much team fight power that if they are somehow able to keep Illidan from actually hitting the targets that he wants to, they may be able to kite him enough just to kill him off eventually. That's going to be a hard sell, however, because the rest of the Sqreen squad side, they're hitting pretty hard, especially Necroman, who's actually pushing up top lane for now.
Sven gonna sell the armlet, buys himself the full moon shard, but Illidan stuck inside the trees. This is spotted by a Radiant Ward. Blinking Queen of Pain's there. They're going to force staff him out of the trees. Illidan tries to fight, but he gets hexed up. Sonic Wave is going to fly through. That's hardly a cooldown that they care for using. Fissure catches out both, but the Echo Slam isn't onto the Sven, and Sven does have Aegis the Immortal. However, he's Pop God Strength and BKB. In that sense, he's a pretty bad Aegis carry. The second life isn't going to be nearly as scary. Can he disengage? They'll keep on kiting Illidan. They have the Demonic Purge onto him. Illidan's going to be F-bladed up with the Spirit Lances, with the Rocket Barrage, with the Blanket from the Queen of Pain. Illidan's going to go down for good. He has the buyback at the very least, but they're going to catch King R to another fight that he are able to turn around, and it's not over yet. Sqreen is also going to fall victim to just the raw amount of damage that he can have. This Phantom Lancer is absolutely stacked, but look at the base. Tier 4 has already fallen, and the second Tier 4 is down to half.
Well, they catch Necroman, however, with the Sheep Stick. They'll throw another Sonic Wave towards this Wind Ranger. She does have her Wind Run. She does have the Clockwork kind of nearby, but Necroman's already so darn low. With no cheese or anything like that, she'll die as well, and Clockwork, he'll try to TP out. He'll make it home, albeit barely. They get a tier 4 tower while that's happening, but Sqreen squad, man, this Sven is just not able to hit anyone. He's having so much difficulty, and part of that was just because he got the initial jump on the Sqreen squad side, but this Lincoln Sphere on Queen of Pain, I don't know how many hammers it's actually absorbed, but it's got to be like 5 or 6 at this point. Sven is always using that stun to actually just do nothing versus the Queen of Pain, and if you don't have that stun landing as Sven, then you actually can't kill anyone simply because you don't have enough sticking power.
This is very difficult for Sqreen squad. If we take a look at the net worth graph, that's pretty much the story of this game. It's been situations where Sqreen squad find an advantage, then they go for this high ground push. They lose it, although in the previous pushes they were able to secure racks for themselves. These barracks are meaning less and less as the game goes on. Hehe have 3 heroes, as we talked about really early inside the game, that scale incredibly with farm, and although the gyrocopter's not there yet, if this drags on another 10, maybe even 20 minutes, the gyrocopter gets 6 slotted, there's not much that Sqreen squad can do. This is already looking very difficult for them to actually close out.
They just have to somehow find a pick-off. They still have this explosive power of the Wind Ranger and the Sven, and still Hehe, like any given hero still, like even this Phantom Lancer, if you actually catch him with the Stormhammer, with the Shackle, then you can very easily bring him down, especially if Tusk is there as well to offer his CC suite, and it looks like we might, well, Phantom Lancer is actually not up there. He's gone down to the bottom lane, but if they take a hero pick like that, force out a couple of buybacks perhaps, but just use their explosive power to take small scale engagements without the Shaker and Shadow Demon actually interfering, then it's definitely still possible for Sqreen squad to bring this back. But in full 5-on-5 clashes, the Shadow Demon's doing his job perfectly, Shaker as well just disrupting the entire fight, and Sqreen squad, the Wind Ranger, she really excels at small skirmishes. In a full 5-on-5 fight, she's going to get swarmed with Phantom Lancer illusions, then there's not much you could do.
Then again, there's a DD rune that's sitting up in the top spot for Necroman. If he picks this up and finds anybody, they'll be ripped apart. But right now, Hehe going on the aggressive. They're going to push bottom lane. They have an Echo Slam up and running, but now they're going to be forced to back. They get the tier 2, and maybe they'll get the Sqreen here. He's going to look for the Snowball onto the Phantom Lancer. He's going to avoid the hookshot too. BKB popped by the Clockwork. They're holding the Phantom Lancer here as the fight's breaking out on top. Echo Slam is going to be committed. They catch out Illidan, but now shackled to a creep. Cube's in a lot of trouble, but even more so, their melee and range barracks are going to fall, and Sven Sven still has buyback. Despite losing the 2 heroes that are farmed, they get what they came for. They're only 1 range barracks away from Megas.
And has 11 HP right now, so it should be falling shortly. In the meantime, though, Phantom Lancer is still fighting down in this bottom lane, gets blinded, and hookshot out from the Clockwork. Should keep him a little bit safer. It looks like it will keep him completely safe. Right now, the game plan from Hehe is simple. Push in, try to force buybacks, try to win the game. We see, it looks like the Queen of Pain actually highlighting this here for us. They want to end it right now, but with Sqreen Squad ready to fight, oh, Gyrocopter. Gonna get the Doctor up. Now there's the damage from the Gyrocopter that we were talking about earlier. Okay, Sqreen Squad, they just need to hold one more time. If they hold that, one hero, any hero, has to hit the mid lane once, and then they take Megas. But right now, it seems like it's going to be a little bit more sketchy than that. Clockwork, and they take a Sonic Wave to the face. Buyback first for the Tusk. 2-man fissure right now. King Arn in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the Blinding Light and Illidan right on top of this Phantom Lancer. Not enough time to get his Satanic off, but actually Illidan, no, he's hitting an illusion instead. Now it's finally going to go over towards the PL. Satanic is there, but it's not quite enough. Forces the doppelgang out, and he's still going to go down. The Ancient's not even exposed yet. Tier 4 is still standing. Now the cleave happening onto Cube, onto Hawa. He'll bring them both down. He is, with the Divine Rapier, is doing all he can, but he is not even able to fight up against Necroman, as he does take down the Gyrocopter. Divine Rapier on the deck. The Clockwork trying to get his hands to that one. Klasinski back in the fight, trying to go for Necroman. Glimmer Cape is going to save him. And that is really necessary. He's going to salve up and just wait for a little while longer. They do see the Phantom Lancer. They'll kill him off. Divine Rapier still on the deck, and looks like MDL is going to get out of there safe and sound. Melee Raxes maybe will be taken, but no, King Ar gets in there in time with the Blinding Light. There are no catapults, but this range creep's still going to work. Mid lane has been taken, however. This is Mega starting to flood the base of Hehe. They just need to limit their losses right now. The Clockwork, he's doomed to fall for sure. Melee Raxes still surviving in the mid lane. So now Hehe have one more shot. Push down mid and try to win this game with no Sven to worry about for 1 minute.
Rapier is still by the Ancient. They must have seen it, right? I don't see a good reason. Yeah, I don't see a good reason to not put it somewhere else, whether that be in Keeper's inventory or whether that be on Windranger's person. They'll ping it out. Keeper of Light's going to guard it here, and it looks like they will give it to the Windrunner. In the heat of battle, looks like it was lost, but nope! Keeper of Light Divine. How many times do you get to see that? King R, this ridiculous damage could actually be relevant for breaking the base, who knows?
Sell 4 staff, get a Hyperstone, start dishing damage. Easy game, easy life. I guess this kind of does split the focus of Hehe. Like, right now, they're obviously going to want to go for Necroman. If they take her down, she has no buyback, and Hehe definitely know about this. But now, you know, they will be also forced to kind of go for this Keeper of the Light. It's not that much HP to grind through, but he's still hitting really hard, like 500 a pop hard. So this is another significant threat up from Sqreen Squad, and they have 10 seconds till their Sven is back up. Blinding Light still going to be pushing everyone back. Neas now with no Divine Rapier has next to no damage output. Like, where did his items go? For an hour-long game, you're supposed to have a little bit more than this on a Gyrocopter. Here comes Sqreen. Walrus Punch immediately, and the Focus Fire is going to tear him a new one. Gets Melee Raxes, but at what cost? Hawa, he's going to get in there, but I don't think he should be here right now. Another Hammer is going to be thrown, snowballing forward. The Storm Hammer will be dodged by the Blink, but they just have to stall this one out. They get the Walrus Punch onto Hawa, but they can't really follow up afterwards, even though they may want to try in the bottom lane. It's the Clockwork plus the flooded Mega Creeps to look to end the game. Somehow Windranger is going to approach really quickly as well with the Focus Fire, and Sqreen Squad, though it looked a little bit sketchy at some portion of the game, are going to take game 1.
Well played to them. Yeah, as you said, started out maybe a little bit sketchy, but as a whole, the execution was there. There were a couple of fights, especially pushing high ground, that didn't work out, but at the end of the day, Sqreen Squad got racks, and he didn't. So it is going to be game number 1 completely done, although there were a couple pauses here and there. Overall, a pleasant experience. Let's see how the series ends.
Alright guys, this has been Mikelorus and GrandisV here on the Pro Dota English channel. We'll be right back for game 2 between Sqreen Squad and Hehe United. Don't go anywhere.